All right, let me begin by reading from Colossians chapter 3, verse 20, no, starting with verse 12, sorry. Colossians 3:12. Therefore, as God's chosen ones, holy and dearly loved, put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving one another if anyone has a grievance against one another. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, so you are also to forgive. Above all, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity, and let the peace of Christ, to which you were also called in one body, rule your hearts and be thankful. That is a passage of scripture that I thought is one that can help us focus on why we're here and what we're doing, because we are wanting to be gentle and kind and humble to the people around us, and bearing with one another, forgiving one another, and loving one another, which is the perfect bond of unity. And I want to make sure that we understand that, last week we talked about that we speak much more slowly than we can hear and what we can listen. I think the numbers vary some, but about 120 to 140 words is what we can speak, and we can listen up to 800 words a minute because of the wonderful way that God has made our minds. Okay, so I was given the illustration last week about being able to drive down the road and have two or three people in the car, and you're carrying on conversations with all the different people and watching the traffic and reading the signs, and you're taking in all of that information and still normally getting to your destination safely. 9 times out of 10. But anyway, that's how our mind works. And so we have a lot of extra time inside our head when somebody is just speaking. If we're just sitting having a conversation, you're listening to me speak, and you may be saying, well, what's for lunch? And, how I got to make sure that I get that done and this task done. And, our minds kind of wander and do other things while we're listening to someone speak. And so what I'm trying to do with these listening skills is to say, okay, let's retrain that extra time inside your head, what we'd call lag time, retrain that extra time to stay focused on what the person is saying through their words, tone, and body language. We said last week that words take up 7% of our communication. Tone is 38% of the communication, and body language is 55%. So we communicate 93% non-verbally, which is just really strange. When you think, okay, we're using words to communicate, but the tone we use, the body language we use, we can say, I've got all the time in the world. I don't have anything else to do. We can sit here and talk as long as you need. What do you want to talk about? Do you believe me?
For an hour.
So.
I did one example of that sometimes when you're talking to someone and they are listening, but they're not looking at you.
Yeah.
And that could be someone's just their style, but also to me that communicates they're not really interested.
Right.
They're kind of listening because they have to.
Yeah.
But because you're there,
Yeah.
That's just.
We've all had people, keep scrolling on their phone while you're talking to them.
I'm a cashier, while you're trying to check somebody out, you're trying to talk to them, and they're just like somewhere else, not even paying attention
Yep.
to anything that you're
It's
saying.
just eyes, they're such a small part of your body, but they communicate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The windows to the soul.
I have found that if you look people when you're talking to them in the business world, that can be intimidating to them, especially from a man to a woman. Um, so you have to be careful how you do it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Because I was always taught when you're talking to somebody, you look at them and you pay attention.
Yeah.
Well, when I got in supervision, I got in trouble because I was
You're talking, or you're looking to them.
looking to them.
Yeah, looking at him, looking him in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, so the way we communicate is important, and so today we're going to be talking about two different skills. One of them is, I think, very familiar to us because we tend to use it a lot, and it's kind of normal way of communication in our society. It's called paraphrase. And the definition is restating in your own words, not parroting, not speaking. If somebody says, "What time is it?" and you say, "You just said, what time is it?" That's kind of redundant. But so you're interested in knowing if we still have more time to talk, or whatever. So you're paraphrasing, and you have to listen to the content in that's usually the words, the verbal part of the communication that the person is sending you. So it's restating in your own words what they just said. So the purpose is to determine whether you have correctly received the verbal messages that the person just sent to you. It's also to give the speaker an opportunity to correct you if your paraphrase is not right, and therefore clears up misunderstandings. And one of the things that we talk about is that we are listening to understand, not necessarily to agree. There's a difference. Okay? To acknowledge that you have heard the speaker through the content of their words. And it's to demonstrate through behavior that you are interested in what the speaker's telling you. That's kind of what Kathy was saying. Not being distracted and staying focused on what they're saying. So it conveys a caring attitude for them. So the description is, paraphrasing is a caring behavior that increases accuracy between the speaker and the listener and produces a degree of mutual understanding. Again, that's the point. We're looking for understanding. So some examples. I'm finding that the worship services are becoming less and less meaningful for me. The order of worship is always the same, and I'm getting bored with its repetition. I wish I could get the minister to make some changes. That's the statement. Here's the paraphrase. You are saying that the worship services are losing meaning for you because of repetition in the order of worship, and you would like the minister to make some changes. All right? Easy enough? All right? Here's another one. No one in this church is concerned about its declining membership. We have asked a number of people to visit inactive members, and not one of them is interested. So the paraphrase, getting no response to your request for visitors to inactive members leads you to believe that no one is concerned about the decline in our church's membership. You're not parroting exactly what the person says, but you are repeating what they just said. All right? But you're saying it in your own words. All right, let's practice. How would you paraphrase When I express my faith and it isn't exactly what someone else believes, people give me the impression that they don't want me around here. I'm beginning to wonder if I should continue to attend this church. How would you paraphrase that? Don't overthink it.
I think I would start with the last part. So you're beginning to think that maybe this church isn't the right place for you because when you express your faith, other people believe differently.
Yes. Very good. Very good. All right, here's another one. I've been teaching the same Sunday school class for 3 years now, and I think it's time for a change. I'd like to try something different to spark my creativity. How would you paraphrase that one?
I want to be more creative. You're
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
that you want to be more creative, so maybe it's time for you to try a different class to teach.
Okay. So, yes. Good. Good. All right, so paraphrase is, like I said, one of those things that we do fairly normally.
Are
What?
these current statements?
Are they current statements?
They may not be actual. I mean, this material is how old?
Oh.
And yet these situations
It's the
are
same thing.
still relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack started a new class. Are those your words?
Yeah. I love it. All right. The next skill, and we'll come back to paraphrase and do some more practicing on that here in a minute, but the next skill is called perception check. And this is one that takes a little bit more effort because there's different pieces to it. Checking out your perception or your guess, what we called last week an inference in that communication style. Your inference about what the speaker is experiencing. Now, this is more focused on feelings than the content of their words. Okay, so this is getting more toward feelings. And responding to the messages that he or she is sending to you about those feelings. These include word, tone, and body language, but primarily tone and body language because, like I said, that's 97% of your communication, or their communication. Description is the perception check is one of the most caring skills we can develop. It conveys concern for the speaker and their feelings. Most of us would like to be able to discuss our emotions, but are rarely given permission to do so. The perception check gives that permission. It is tentative and non-judgmental. The guess does not have to be correct, but it should have a reasonably close proximity. When the check is incorrect, the speaker has the opportunity to name the correct feeling. So you don't have to worry about getting it exactly right every time. The perception check is a statement which includes tentative language and one or more feeling words, followed by a question to check its accuracy. However, before you can make a statement, you must pick up a clue from a person's words, tone, and body language, and then make a guess in your own mind during that use of your lag time about what they might be feeling or experiencing. That is the perception. That's your part of the communication. You're making a perception as to what they're feeling. The perception belongs to the listener, and through this skill, the listener then checks out whether they are perceiving the emotion correctly. The perception check has the following 4 parts or stages. The first 2 focus on the nonverbals. The clue comes from the words, tone, and body language of the message that's sent to you. And so the focus is usually on the body language and the voice tone. Then you make a guess inside your own head during your lag time of what the feeling is that the other person is feeling or that you think that they're experiencing. That's the perception part. Then comes the check, and this is the verbal. So the statement must include tentative language and name one or more feeling words. Happy, sad, hurt, upset, excited, offended, whatever. The example of tentative language stems can be found on page 28, and you have that in your packet. The question is used to check your accuracy of your perception. The question is important because it is to check and reinforce the fact that it is a guess on your part. Okay? So a question might be, am I right? Is that correct? Is that how you feel? Is that true for you? So that's giving the person that's speaking a chance to respond. So the perception check does not tell the speaker what they're feeling. Okay, in the paraphrase, it is okay to use the word you. You just said this. In the perception check, it's I get the impression that. Okay, so you're not telling the speaker what they're feeling, and so you start the word with I or me. The listener would not say, "You are angry about that, aren't you?" Because they're projecting that feeling onto the speaker. That is not tentative, and the listener is not owning the perception. On page 28, there are examples of tentative language stems, which indicate that the listener is not sure about his or her perception, but is checking to see if it is correct. Notice that each one contains I, me, or it, indicating that the perception belongs to the listener and is leaving room for error. Okay? Page 27 has a lot of feeling words, and under the heading of happy, you can talk about carefree, cheerful, grateful, glad, joyous. There's a lot of different words that you can use to express joy. There's different words you can express for sadness, concern, dread, ill at ease, somber. So there's a lot of different ways we can convey feelings when we do a perception check. All right. Now on page 28, these are the tentative stems that you can use, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of go through and memorize some of these, and just so you have them at your the tip of your tongue. I get the impression that, it appears to me that, it seems to me that, I'm wondering if, it sounds to me as if, it is, or is it possible that, I have a hunch, I sense that, I perceive that, I get the feeling that. So you're always owning your guess. Okay? So examples of perception checks. I'm wondering if, that's the tentative language. You might be feeling upset. That's the feeling word that you're identifying. Might be feeling upset about what happened at the bazaar last week. Am I correct? All right? Tentative language, express a feeling, and then ask a question. It sounds to me as if you were delighted with the response to your youth program last month, right? Am I right? I sense that your experience has caused you to feel a bit discouraged about being involved in our project. Is that right? So you get the idea that there's tentative language, identify the actual emotion that you are making the guess about, and then ask the question to make sure it's okay. Note that you do not have to name the feeling accurately, but you need to be close. That would be helpful. If you're completely incorrect, if you're really happy, when they're really sad, it seems it might be sarcastic, and you're not really very caring in that moment. If you're incorrect, the speaker has a chance to correct you. That's the reason for asking the question. Is that right? Am I correct? What do you think? And then the perception check is non-judgmental. It should convey the message of a caring concern on the part of the listener. All right. Well, let's do some practice again. We're going to practice all three. Both. I'm going to throw in something just for fun. A paraphrase. We're going to respond with a paraphrase first, and then a perception check. Because a lot of times a paraphrase and a perception check do work well together. You paraphrase it and then say, well, based on what you just told me in my paraphrase, I'm wondering if you might be feeling this. So they work really, really well together. All right? So we'll practice a paraphrase and then practice our perception check. And then a blocking statement is something that we tend to do that we really should not be doing, but we have a tendency to do nonetheless. A blocking statement is a response that shows that you're really not listening and you want to get the focus back on yourself rather than listening to them and caring for them. So, an example, I'm having a terrible time with a group at my church. Paraphrase, one of your groups is really giving you problems. Perception check, I get the impression by what you say that you're pretty discouraged right now. Am I right? Tentative language, the emotion, and then a question. A blocking statement is what we do a lot of. Well, you ought to see the group I'm in. Okay? Because it takes the focus off of them and puts it back on you, and we do that quite often. So we're going to complete the following, and we'll do this together, and then we'll take turns doing it. All right. The last time I went to church, not a soul spoke to me. As I approached several former friends, they turned and walked away from me. I'm not sure I ever want to come back again if that's the way Christians act. What's a paraphrase? Any ideas?
It sounds like you were really hurt by the way people treated you when you went back to church.
Okay, that's a perception check.
Oh, that's a perception check. Oh, that's right, sorry.
Because you identified an emotion.
Yes, all right, I did.
Just paraphrase what they said.
You're having a problem with people at church not speaking to you?
Yes. There you go.
I get it, yeah, okay.
Okay. Now the perception check.
You
Yeah.
seem upset that,
Yes, I'm wondering if.
I'm wondering if you're upset.
Yes, you got to own it for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if you might be feeling upset. Am I right?
Yeah, I gotta practice.
You got to, yeah, that gets a little bit more involved because you got to remember all three of those. I own it. Here's the emotion that I perceive. Am I correct in my perception? Just for fun, what would be a blocking statement?
You don't talk to me either.
Same thing happens to me.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I don't even get a chance to talk to them because they walk away when they see me.
Yeah. As soon as they see me, they're gone. I hear you. All right.
You could say something, well, what did you do to them?
Yeah.
Blocked.
Yeah. I mean, really put it back on them and say, you've obviously done something that has upset them. So it's all your fault.
Yeah, say something about that. They've never been like that to me, because then it was like, they did something wrong.
Right.
Ooh, that would be really.
Yeah. That's good. All right. We're going to do something fun. Becky, I want you to turn to Kathy and read statement number 1. And then Kathy will do a paraphrase and a perception check
Where's the statement?
on page 30.
I'm not concerned.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't give that to you, did I? All right.
Okay.
But I'm hearing you saying, is
Yeah.
We should have.
Yeah, you should have.
that right?
Yeah. All right. So,
I do that all the time.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Yeah.
2. Yeah, good. I've got 6 statements. We got 6 people. Becky, I'm going to read this to you. Okay. You give me a paraphrase and then a perception check. Did you hear what the preacher said in the sermon today? I'd like to give him a piece of my mind.
You're not happy with the sermon today?
Okay, it's paraphrase.
I understand that the sermon today wasn't something that you cared about. That be something?
And then ask a question.
Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, good. So I'm wondering if something was said that upset you. Am I right? Yeah, good. All right, Kathy. My children are not learning any Bible verses in their Sunday school class.
So your kids aren't learning anything in their Sunday school class.
Okay, paraphrase. Now perception check.
Sounds like you're frustrated that your kids aren't learning anything in Sunday school.
Okay,
Is that
you
right?
own it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah. It sounds to me,
Yes.
like you're frustrated. Is that right?
Good. Good.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of it a little bit.
All right. This one's for Cheryl. After all that's happened to me, I no longer believe in God.
oh dear.
That would be a good response.
It's pretty much what you do.
I've been offended.
You're saying that you don't believe in God anymore.
Okay.
Paraphrase.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty. Okay. I'm wondering if something happened that made you feel abandoned by God. Is that right?
Very good. Very good. All right. You ready, Tammy? I believe that calling on the inactive is a waste of time.
You don't believe that we should contact people that have not been attending church?
Okay? Now, perception check.
Is that how you're feeling, that that's a waste of time?
Okay. You got to own it.
I believe you're saying that calling on the inactive is a waste of time. Is
Okay.
that correct?
Yeah, okay. Put a feeling word in there.
Okay.
It's not as easy as it seems.
Yeah, which word is that? You don't seem zealous for people anymore. Is that how you're feeling that they shouldn't be? It would be a waste of time.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm wondering if
I'm wondering if you,
you feel.
that's a hard one.
Yes, it is. It is.
I feel you're delusional, just kidding.
Yeah, it is a hard one. I'm wondering if you might be feeling.
What was the situation?
Yeah, they,
I believe that calling.
You wanna
Go
call on the
inactive.
inactive member.
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe that calling on the inactive is a waste of time. It's a hard one.
So you're not worried about,
Yeah,
I'm
own it.
feeling like you're not worried about people not attending church anymore.
Am I right?
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Work through that one. Yeah, that's a hard one. And
Especially if you don't, if
Right.
you have the totally opposite.
Yes.
Can you,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that situation?
Empathize with somebody that,
Yeah.
it goes back to what you said about just, you have to be willing to try to empathize and not necessarily agree.
yes,
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
if you're struggling with, I mean, that's,
you know that's the passage about loving in unity and so what we're trying to do is to say I'm here to understand your situation and where you are and what you're doing, and I'm caring for you and loving you, and then we can talk about it after I actually understand where you're coming from.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Right there, you talking,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why in your communication skills, why some people felt like you sat on the fence a lot.
Mm.
Sorry,
Mm.
but being able to listen to people
Yeah.
and not judge them. Sorry, I just
Yeah,
want to encourage you. You did that.
Well-
I mean, I see you using this
Yes. Thank you.
or having used it. Sorry.
It's all right.
It's hard when it's an emotional thing. You know, you can even see your reaction, even though you knew it was an exercise, but because you're so caring about
Yeah.
people. And,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was a
Yeah.
perfect question for you.
Yeah.
You know, you could almost see, like, you couldn't believe that someone
Yeah,
would say
and
that.
that's real life because you get sucked into you don't believe in God. What do you mean? And we go theological on them real quick, and instead of saying okay, what's going on?
and that's not the only, but one of our big problems in the younger generations is we don't know how to empathize. We just want to say our opinion, and if you don't believe the way I do, too bad. There's we've lost that ability to talk back and forth
Mm-hmm.
and be able to have a decent conversation without always having 100% agreement.
Yeah.
I've been listening to some podcasts, and a couple of them, they'll have these interviews between two people, with differing opinions, and it's refreshing because they're Christian-based, well, not necessarily, but anyway, the way it's set up, the people that are talking maintain respect for the other person. They'll say, well, I don't agree with that. Here's what I think, but it's not.
You're an idiot.
full-
Yeah.
It's not a battle.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think we teach kids to set up emotional thoughts.
Well, right
And
now,
then, like, you can't call me names, but it's okay for me to call you names because of the superiority thing. And we don't sit back and listen and take the emotion out of it.
Mhm.
I think that's where we are.
Mhm.
well, I know this is kind of a little bit off topic, but just in the schools right now, the big push is for kids to own their feelings. And that's okay, except now what I'm seeing is kids don't know how to do this. They have their own feelings, and that's all they can see. I mean, that's all they.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, they can't look at someone else who has a different feeling and have a conversation
We go back to
because they're
primal.
so focused on themselves.
We
I
forget that
feel like.
God created us not to be animals. We have a
Right.
higher intellect than
Yes.
we don't fall on the intellect anymore. We fall. That's where I'm saying is we fall
Yes.
on the emotions and the feelings and
Right.
stuff instead of
Well,
I've got an intellect. Let me talk about this and think about this
Right.
and discuss it.
yeah, and I mean, you mentioned last week, I forget exactly what you said about, I can't remember, but I was thinking as you were talking that all of this emotion stuff, you know, the brain science is where education has gone right now, at least here. And all this amygdala, you know, the brain stem, that's where the root is, and you can't, I think you said something about you can't think clearly when you're deep in emotion, and that's exactly what they're teaching the kids is if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling anxious, you have to take a time out because you can't, I mean, teachers can't talk to you when you're in that state where you're so emotional. You have to take a time out. So all the rooms have these little timeout places because the kids have to regroup. I don't know, I have so many mixed emotions about all that, but it kind of ties into those of us in this room have learned better communication skills, I think, for the most part, than what kids are getting now.
How many kids don't even actually hold a conversation?
Well,
verbally?
right,
Because
Mom and
that's,
Dad.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
And they will say things to each other in text or on social media,
Yes.
they would never say face to face.
yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's where there's so many problems.
And that they're communicating 7% of their
Yes.
ability
Right,
with just words or just in a text.
yeah, you mentioned that last week about
Yeah.
reading text and totally misunderstanding what's being said.
Absolutely misunderstanding. No question about it. All right. So that was a great exchange. Thank you. All right, Pam. I've made 5 calls on inactive members and 4 have returned to the church. This has really been a great experience.
So it's been a great experience for you that 4 out of 5 have returned to church and you felt like your visits were effective, is that right? Or I
Okay.
hear you,
Okay, that was a good paraphrase.
Yeah.
Now go to the perception check.
um, I believe you're excited about the 4 families who have returned to church based on your visits, is that right?
Good. Yeah. It's interesting that we struggle sometimes with the more positive emotion.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I struggle with bringing it back to me.
Yeah. And it's okay what would I be feeling if that happened to me? And kind of self-identify with it and then and check it out and say, is that what you're feeling too? You know?
Yeah. I think it would be easier for me to roll it all in one, like to paraphrase it and then
Yes.
just throw it into.
Yeah, they work really well
You're
together.
excited about
Yes.
that, is that true?
Yeah, they work really well together.
Well, what about the other one that didn't show up?
That'd be your blocking statement.
That's the blocking
I'm
statement.
glad you're only 80%.
Oh my. Well, what happened to him? Yeah. Oh
Where I'm
my.
I'm the problem solver, so I
Yeah.
say-
Yeah, you would have said,
Yeah, I
So
love it.
why didn't he come back?
All right, Todd. It certainly has been a long time since I've been at church. I'm wondering if people would even want me back.
So you're wondering if people would like you to come back to church because it's been such a long time since you've been there? Is that right? Is that a good paraphrase?
Now, the paraphrase would not actually have the question on the end of it, but yeah, that was a good start.
Now perception. So what I'm hearing you say is that the foundations of the church would be shaking in the boot if you stepped over the threshold.
I think that's probably a bump.
If I'm wondering if you might be feeling that. Yes.
No. So what I'm hearing you say is, it's been a long time since you've been to church, and you're even wondering if people would acknowledge that you're there. Is that right?
Okay. Now you need to put a feeling word in there somewhere.
I hate feelings. So you're kind of feeling confused whether people would like you to come back to church since it's been such a long time since you've been there. Is that right?
Okay, that's close. That's close. You just forgot the I'm feeling. Yes, I'm wondering if.
I'm wondering.
Yes, there you go. Like I said, it's a wonderful skill. It's something that you have to work at. You know, because you're, like I said, our tendency is to do the blocking statement or to get involved. And it's interesting you say I don't like feelings. And there are a lot of people like that. You know, they're all in their head, and they're thinkers, and you know, yeah, I'm married to one, and
We are so,
Are you not?
yeah,
that
Yeah.
he is, it's
Yeah.
just
See,
not
it's opposite
the
with
typical.
us.
yeah, we're kind of opposite. But I remember when we were dating. I may have said this last week. I don't remember. Anyway, when we were dating, I learned really quickly that I said, "Where do you feel like going to eat?" And she looked at me like, "I don't know." So then I changed my wording and said, "Where do you think you'd like to go?" "Oh, we can go here or here."
She bought me a dice this last Christmas that has places to eat.
This is like Chinese.
I love it.
Roll the dice.
Roll the dice. I love it. All right, so yeah, it's a lot more. It's easier for me to come up with a feeling word than it is for you. Okay, not right or wrong. It's just how God wired us. So when we're involved in a conversation, when someone is emoting a lot, beginning to focus on them and getting inside where they are and trying to understand them is very uncomfortable for us when we're not a feeler. You know, it's hard for me sometimes to connect with Cheryl because I'm feeling so much, and I'm thinking, okay, think, Jack. You know, stop. You got to get out of that. What do you call it? The amygdala or whatever. I don't know, but if I'm trying to really communicate, I have to learn to think rather than emote. And some of us are just the opposite. Have to learn to emote and get in touch with those feeling words and the feelings, which is again loving the other person. It's sharing the love of Christ.
To the solution.
Yes.
Here's what you need to do.
Yes. Let's fix it.
She'll look
Yeah.
at me and she'll say, I don't want you to fix this, I just want you to listen.
Just listen. Yes. Right.
Okay, I can do that.
And that's why Jesus is so amazing.
Yes.
He has the balance, perfect balance.
Yes.
You how to use it well. And
Yes.
us who sometimes don't.
You know, it
Yeah.
talks about guarding your heart. You have 42 more neurons that your heart has than your head.
Mm.
And to think about that, God has protected, there's more of a protection of your soul here than here.
Mm. That's interesting.
Interesting.
All right. So, do we understand paraphrase and perception check? These are skills that what I'd like for you to do is leave this room, and as you're talking with people before church, try them out, test them, practice them, because they do take some practice. You know, I've been trying to use these for many years now. I think I confessed last week that I think my listening has gotten sloppy. That's one of the reasons I wanted to redo the class, was to remind myself as well. So perception check is tentative language, I, me, this is what I think, or this is what my perception is. You might be feeling this, and then ask the question. So there's all three parts. All right? Yes. Oh, I thought you were starting to say something.
No, I said, I wrote practice.
Yes. Yes. It does require practice. But it'd be interesting next week to hear you say, I've been using this, and here's how people have responded. All right? That's what I'd like to hear about next week. All right? All right. Let me pray. Father, again, I thank you for this time together, and I thank you for giving us the wherewithal and the desire to learn some new things in order that we might communicate your love and your grace and your mercy to other people. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.